class-leading slow-speed shredder. Best shredder I've ever seen in 20 years. Hello everyone, welcome to the Get to Know series. I'm Sean McGeary, Sales Director, Blue Machinery Central. I'm here at our head office in Northwich, Cheshire, and we're going to have a closer look at the Doppstadt Inventhor 9 slow-speed shredder. So let's go take a closer look. So this machine is the largest slow-speed shredder in the Doppstadt range. It's been designed from the ground up. It succeeds the former DW series of slow-speed shredders, world famous, very, very popular machine. And if we take a look at the chassis, you can see that this machine is built on a heavy-duty track chassis. It operates on 2 speeds and it has a total weight of 35 tons, so it can be moved via a low loader quite easily anywhere in the UK, just with a standard movement order. It's very agile, it's very quick when it's needed to be, and it can be moved very easily on site with an operator who can clean up after he's used the machine. I've also got the multi-controller here as well for the machine, so the operator can use this in their cab and they can control all the hydraulic elements on the machine. They can start and stop the shredding rotor, they can start and stop all the belts, and they can also track the machine, and they can also hit a stop button should they need to. Okay, so we're going to open up the doors and have a quick look at what's under the bonnet. Okay, so the powertrain on this machine, it's got a stage 5 MTU engine. It's a very, very good industrial engine. It outputs approximately 530 horsepower, but more importantly and quite uniquely with the Inventhor series and all previous Doppstadt slow-speed shredders, they have this direct drive mechanism. So we're fortunate enough, and the operators benefit from a huge torque conversion from the 530 horsepower engine, direct drive straight onto the single shaft, and everything transfers through this Vario gearbox, which Doppstadt have adopted in their latest Inventhor series. So what that does for the operator is it gives the operator all the benefits of having a hydraulic drive machine and all the control that comes with having a hydraulic drive machine, but you still have the power conversion and the fuel saving of a direct drive slow-speed shredder straight onto the single shaft. Okay, we've also got a hydraulic tank here and the hydraulic system, which takes off the engine, and that operates all the hydraulic components on the machine. So it's quite a small hydraulic system really when you look at other slow-speed shredders on the market, because all it's operating is the tracks, the conveyor belts, the overband magnet. These are the hydraulic components. This machine's also fitted with a customer specified fire suppression system, and we'll take a look at the exhaust system when we're around the other side. And the cooling system on this machine as well is located right at the front of the machine. It's very, very good. Most importantly, and the biggest change between this and the previous models, is it's very, very quiet. So when this machine's in operation, all the doors are closed, the actual noise output is greatly reduced compared to previous models. The operators also benefit from quite a spacious engine bay in this machine, again compared to previous models. Everything's very accessible, everything's at low level. The feed height on this machine is just over 3 meters, so it can be loaded with a wheel loader quite easily, or a material handler or a grab on an excavator. But everything's quite low down and easy to access for anybody who's operating it, doing daily checks. It's an important feature. Okay, so we're having a look underneath the comb flap door now, so we can see the outside of the counter knife of the counter comb. On the Doppstadt Inventhor series, the counter knife, the comb, is mounted to the chassis of the machine. You can see that these cylinders here, they're not mounted to the actual door itself, they're mounted solid to the frame of the machine. It's a very important feature because it takes a lot of impact, the counter knife, and we control hydraulically, we control the position of the counter knife and we allow it to move, we allow it to bounce while the shredder is in action and there's material coming through. So that pressure that we preset on the machine and is variable, is adjustable, allows us to take a certain amount of unshreddable items, a certain amount of heavy contaminants that will go through the machine and will prevent any serious damage that will simply deposit onto the underbelt, up the rear elevator, and they can be extracted that way. It means that we're not having to go into the shredder to remove unshreddables. They will pass through. Again, everything is good, low-level access. You can see the pressure actuator, which is used to set the pressure on the counter knife. All the greasing points are very low level for all these rams and cylinders. And you can see the springed mechanism as well that allows for some movement in the comb arm. So we'll have a closer look inside the machine and on the rear conveyor all folded out. But this is the panel now. It's been repositioned from the previous shredders, previous models. So traditionally this would have always been located near the engine with the operator panel, but it's been repositioned to this part of the machine because it takes whoever's in control here, whoever's standing here, it takes them away from being underneath the machine. So if it's been loaded on the other side, the operator won't be able to see them. And also when you're stood in this position, you've got a much greater peripheral vision because you can see just about more than two sides of the shredder, whereas previously before, when you were located on the side of the machine, you really had visibility that just went along one plane. So that works a lot better here. It's much safer, very accessible and really simple to use. You can press it with big fingers in big gloves. Nothing too fancy. No clever LCD displays. Just dead simple buttons. Okay, so we're just round the opposite side, the other side of the engine bay now. We've got this door open, so you can see what we can access here. Again, all very accessible, all low level. We've got the filler cap for a 950 litre tank, which is in the chassis of the machine. We've got good access to behind the AdBlue tank, again, easily accessible, so it can be filled up and checked daily. Good access onto the engine bay platform, full access to the gearbox. We've got the exhaust system mounted up at high level. You can see all the soundproofing here as well, all around the inside of the engine bay of the machine. We've got the air cleaner, again, low level, easy to access, easy to check, easy to clean. So yeah, again, all very easily accessible. So now we've got the side comb door open on the machine. It's lowered into its open position. I'm stood on the side comb, so I've got nice, safe, ground level access right onto the main heart of the machine. So from this position you can see the size, the thickness of the comb door, just how heavy duty it is, how substantial it is. You can see the locking cylinders that are retracted so it can open up. And you can see the individual combs, the counter knives. So these are individually replaceable. They're bolt on and off. So they can be individually replaced as opposed to a whole set at any one time. They are disposable, they're throwaway. So essentially you don't really require any regular hot works or welding to go on inside the machine. These can be fitted by, relatively low-skilled labour, thrown away and new ones put on. Likewise, we've got these comb bars fitted to every comb on the machine. These clip in and out very quickly, very easily. So Sam's just going to whip one out. That's it. They just wedge into position and they just lock with a pin. So very simple. And the way this is set up currently, this is going to be installed tomorrow by Sam. We're going to have a word with Sam in a minute and he can show us a little bit more about what it's like to work on the machine. But these can be taken out, so if somebody wanted to change the size of the shredded material that they're trying to produce, they could take out They could take out the full set, or they could take out every other comb, or they could take out every third comb, and so on and so forth. So you have some variation on the shred size that you're producing versus the throughput that you want to produce. So let's climb inside now and we'll take a closer look at the actual rotor. So we're well inside the shredding chamber now. We've got Sam McGeary with us as well, who's been working on the machine to get it ready for customer delivery tomorrow. And you know, Sam's worked on lots of the older previous versions of the Doppstadt slow speed shredder before, so he's in relative comfort right now. Would you say, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. A lot more comfy than the 3060 anyway. So big changes. So
this shaft is 3 meters long. It's got the L, the large size teeth on it. There are 4 different teeth available in various configurations, but there's the small, the medium, the large, and the XL, and they're all designed to produce a different size of material. But the L size that we see here is the most popular. There's 42 teeth mounted to this shaft. They're bolted on, and they sit in this cradle. So again, like the combs that we looked at, they are throwaway, they are disposable. There isn't any real need for regular hot works to take part in this shredding chamber. It's only really when these wear rings start to wear after excessive use, and at that point we'd probably take the rotor out and put it on the deck and do that in a workshop.
Yeah.
So one of the other features that I wanted to talk about in here, and one of the biggest differences between this shredder and the previous 3060, is not just the access into this part of the machine, but it's the clearance between the rotor and the collection belt underneath. So previously on the 3060 model, that was much tighter, it was much smaller, and it was ultimately much more prone to blockages.
Yeah, definitely. When you crawled underneath, you could the teeth were almost touching you off the belt.
That's right.
And as you can see now, it's a huge gap. So
I mean, Sam's not a big guy by any means, but we won't go there. Don't worry. But there's lots of clearance to be in here, to be working. It's as good an environment as you can expect to work in a shredder. There's also a very, very subtle design change here as well, where this collection belt underneath, which is a 2-part belt. So this is an individual belt feeding onto an incline conveyor, which is an individual belt, which is the best way to have it, because if one gets damaged, you're only having to replace one of the belts, and it's difficult to keep a continuous belt tracked, whereas this is a much better system. But this underbelt actually tapers, and it's wider at the outlet point, as opposed to back here where Sam is. So as the material builds up in this chamber, the belt tapers outwards to allow more material to be transferred through it. And what about changing these rotors, Sam?
Oh, super easy, really easy. From experience, as long as you've not damaged the holder by running the teeth too low or running it with no teeth on it, your lads on site can do this.
Yeah.
They don't have to climb in anymore. It's easy access, like you were saying before. But as long as they look after the teeth, and also make sure they're tight. So. And
it's got the damping facility on it as well, this machine. So you have to feed the machine with like mains pressure water. So a hose pipe, a standpipe.
Yeah, decent pressure water feeding into this. It'll give you a good spray around. But if it's a bit low, you may need a pump.
You may need a pump, yeah. Okay. And that's now got an electric valve, so when the machine's off...
Yeah, when the machine's off, there's no big pool of water around your machine after you come back from your lunch. As soon as you switch the machine off, the whole water system switches off on the machine.
Great.
So, yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Sam.
No worries.
Let's go and have a look at the rear conveyor. So we've seen the underbelt inside the machine. It feeds onto this 1200 wide rear conveyor. This one's 7 meters long. It is available 8.5 meters long as well, but we tend to find that the 7 meters is about the sweet spot. It's not always an advantage having an extended rear conveyor, especially on a shredder. It can be the material can sometimes blow off the end, and it can be a lot windier when you're a bit further up. But This one can be operated at multiple heights, so it's dropped down to sort of a mid-height right now. And we've also got a hydraulically height adjustable permanent Steinart magnet on this machine, so that'll remove all ferrous metals as it crosses underneath, and it's generally considered a contaminant for whatever material's going through, so it can be recovered as an extra material. All the E-stops located where they need to be, nice low level, and all the greasing points, everything brought back to central blocks, central banks, so the operator can access them for their daily maintenance. Okay, the other really good feature with this machine, because we can hydraulically adjust the position of the counter knife to the rotor, we can close it very, very tight up to the rotor, and it effectively acts as a cleaning mechanism. We can reverse the rotor as well with the comb in its closed position. So it means if you're shredding material that's prone to wrap around the single shaft, which lots of different materials are, with this you can put it through basically an automatic cleaning cycle, and it will know to move the comb as close to the rotor as it can without touching it, and it will be able to turn the shaft both forwards and backwards, and it can completely clean the rotor from a wrapped with material rotor to almost nothing on it at all, fully automatic without any manual intervention from the operator. Really good feature, very strong benefit for this machine. So thanks for watching this episode of Get to Know series, and hopefully you'll continue to watch them and allow us to indulge us to show you a little bit more about what we do and the equipment that we sell. Thanks very much.